Okay, let's see. So we got some of you organizing household reading Lonesome Gods. Nice, Stephanie. Yeah, Lonesome Gods is a great book. In fact, there's several Louis L'Amour books. He was a great researcher and historian, and so a lot of his books are historically accurate. Fantastic principles. That one and The Walking Drum, one of my favorites. And hey, if you have men or boys in your home, older boys, the Sackett series. There's 19 books, and it follows this family historically from when they first came over to the United States, and then follows them as they move west across the United States. So really starting in the 1500s and going through the 1800s, and it's all the principles in there. It's historical fiction, but it is packed with beautiful principles about manliness, chivalry, and fatherhood. Really, really, really good. So the whole Sackett series, my boys love them. They're just great books. He's such a great storyteller. Went to a personal development business retreat. Yeah, finally crushed some fears that were plaguing me for the past 2 years. Nicely done, Marissa. That is fantastic. I love it. Okay, what else? Anybody else? What else you got going on? We're just taking a minute here to connect and see what you're working on, what's new in your life. What are you excited about? Anybody feel like your life's kind of getting back to normal a little bit? I'm just kind of going with it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to normal. I'm going back to life, even if other people are like, no, I'm not. I'm like, I'm going with it. Get excited again, get back into life, make things happen. Sign the contract today with my first client in my new bookkeeping business. Yeah! Celebrate that. Oh my goodness. That is fantastic. Mary, congratulations. Congratulations. That is so good. You guys celebrate that. Anytime you have, actually, can I dive in with that principle real quick? Most of the people that I work with do not celebrate enough. We're so driven and we're so motivated. This is you, right? I'm talking to you. You're so driven, you're so motivated, you're all about what's the next thing? Let's go, go, go. I got to get things done. You're ambitious, you're driven. But I think most of us do not stop enough to celebrate the small wins. Who knows what I'm talking about? Who knows what I'm talking about here, right? You're just like, okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And even when you do have some wins, you're kind of hard on yourself. And you're like, oh, that doesn't count. Because I'm still so bad at that. Or the pantry's still disorganized. The garage is undone. There's some weeds in the yard. I'm still, and we can be really hard on ourselves. So I hope you will celebrate. Actually, recently got an email. Somebody was asking about that. And mentioning and in fact, it comes up all the time in my coaching sessions. Please, please, please make time to celebrate. In fact, daily, even if it's just something small, make the intention to celebrate. Who will do that with me? I want a commitment. We're doing some coaching tonight, people. I want commitments. I'm going to give you challenges, commitments. Let's celebrate. Why not just have fun and enjoy the journey? And intentionally celebrate. You can do it with gratitude practice. You can do a little dancing. I know you love to dance. In fact, if we were all in person, I'd make you all dance. We'd turn on the song. Yes, we would. We'd all be like doing a little dancing because it's just fun to be alive, and we can make this journey a lot more fun instead of being serious all the time, saying, "Oh, I did it, but probably wasn't good enough," right? And we get caught in that. So let's keep the celebrating going. Let's see. Mary made bread today with your daughter. Yum. Nothing quite like homemade bread. You make it with your kids. Oh, it's fun, huh? Let's see. Feeling blank. Bought a new book from Dawson Church on brain optimization. Nice. Haven't read it yet. I've been working a lot on my stuff. It's blocking me going forward. Actually, I'm only here, okay, half hour because I have a session with someone to help me with it. Cool. All right, double booked it. Let's go. Get unblocked. Anything that's standing in your way. If you have obstacles, that's the primary target. I'm working with a few clients right now who I love the metaphor of the runway. that all of us are trying to take off and get something going on this runway, but very often our runway is just scattered with all kinds of stuff. And so it's hard to get enough speed and momentum going to really take off because the runway is just covered in half-done projects, in decisions that need to be made, obstacles, anything that gets in the way and you feel like, oh, I'm stumbling over the stuff. We just don't get enough momentum. And so we literally have to clear the runway. In fact, can I do that right now in a little bit of coaching here? In fact, tonight, you guys, tonight's agenda, I just want to be open for total coaching. So whoever is up, and you can either send me a private message if you want to remain anonymous, or you can ask it in the chat, or you can straight up raise your hand and we're going to do some coaching tonight. So if you're up for some coaching, I hope you're up for some coaching because that's what we're doing. We're going to do some coaching and trying to help you get your stuff. But the first piece of this, I want everyone to do this right now. What is one thing that's blocking your runway? Give me one thing, all of you, give me one thing that's blocking your runway. And those of you watching the recording, I know not everyone can make it. Those of you watching the recording, same thing. I want you to write this down and get it really clear. Sometimes identifying it, just the awareness is curative. Just the awareness is enough to kind of start getting rid of the obstacle. I want everyone share, write it down at least, and if you're willing, share it in the chat or on the mic. What's one thing in your runway that's holding you back? What's one obstacle that's keeping you from getting the velocity and the momentum that you need? I'm totally comfortable with silence, by the way. I can just sit here and smile at you guys all night long. What is it? What's one obstacle that's on your runway? And again, man, this is a really great practice. I hope you're open to this kind of stuff. This is a really great practice just to get it out in the open and be like, yep, this thing's sitting in my runway. It's one of the things that's stopping me. Okay. Ooh, nice. Limiting beliefs in myself. That one comes up for all of us. And it's a showstopper. So write this down. Everybody write this down. Your success is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. So if you haven't heard, we say that all the time. I'm going to keep saying it because it's beautiful. I've heard a lot of other people say it as well. But it's just solid. Your success is 80% psychology and 20% strategy, and that's one of them. When we doubt ourselves, we stop before we even start. So thanks for sharing that. Time management is a big one. Like, man, what do I do with all? I have so much to do. How do I fit it in where I feel like I'm giving everything appropriate time? Not everything has to have equal time, my friends, but it definitely has to have appropriate time. Appropriate time. And can I throw in a plug here, you guys? Y'all ready for this? I want you to focus on energy management as well. Because if you can bring more energy to your hours, you'll get more done. You'll be way more efficient and way more effective if you're also watching your energy management. And the great book on that is called The Power of Full Engagement. That whole book is on, going after energy management because time is limited. We have 24 hours, but energy is unlimited. You can have as much as you want. Right now, I am exhausted. I've been coaching all day long and working out hard, but I'm bringing it. Like, I'm generating energy for you guys. And so the energy that you can bring to your hours makes a big difference. We can cover strategies like that too. I'm just hoping for all of it tonight. I'm ready to throw this out. Let's see. So I'm not going to say that I don't know. I'm reading for the chat here. Just I'm not sure how to put it all into words. And that's fair, man. We get that sometime where it's hard to articulate it. So it's all that and time management, okay? Feeling like outside circumstances are too much controlling my output. Yeah. Man, that was frustrating. And often where we live into other people's agendas and those circumstances. Having said that, I've noticed that when things move away, I'm not entirely productive. So I think I use it as an excuse. Yes, thank you for the honesty. Thank you for the honesty. It's interesting, yeah. Well, it'll be inside of us, and we think, well, it's that and that, and then those things are gone, and we still don't do it. It doesn't change, and then we realize everything is an inside job, isn't it? All of life is an inside job. We have to start and work from the inside out. Another comment here. Thanks for all the comments. This is great. I'm a leader in a network marketing business, and I feel like I need a few skills. I'm feeling really good emotionally after this past weekend. Almost feel empty of the doubts and worries. That is wonderful. Congratulations. Weird feeling, but I'm loving it for right now. That's fantastic. And for many of us, it literally is skill development. In fact, man, I'm hitting all kinds of stuff today. I'm all over the place. But what's interesting about skills, my friends, is that almost every problem in life is a skill set problem. For example, if you're struggling in your marriage, most often it's because you have reached the limits of your current marriage skill set. If you're struggling with parenting with one of your children, it's very often because you have reached the limits of your parenting skill set. Same is true with starting a business or in work or in community or leadership or influence, especially influence. If you feel like you lack influence and persuasion, it's most often because we have reached the current limits of our skill sets. And that's why we got to make that shift and level up to new skills, which opens up new opportunities. That's a big one right there. Love that stuff. Next, absorbing the emotions of others and letting that dictate my day. Woo! Stacy, thank you. Who can relate to that? And even if your camera's off, raise your hands. You guys got to move a little bit. Everyone's got to move here. Don't be sitting there passively like, oh, he can't see me, so I don't have to move. No, I'll be like, yeah, I get it. I remember, Stacy, on that one, I remember for years, I literally felt like a thermometer. And my temperature was really, it fluctuated on other people's emotions. Who's with me on that? Somebody is upset or angry, and you're like, oh, here we go. And right? Or somebody's excited, and you're like, oh, me too. And it was hard to be consistent in what I wanted because I found myself constantly fluctuating with other people's emotions. And as I went through that journey, I kept finding myself frustrated with that. I'm like, no, I don't want to go over there. I have no reason to go over there. I don't want to go too far here. Like, I want to be able to choose my emotion. That's why with the 28-day tracker, we always invite you to choose your emotion each day and come back to it, because otherwise you're just constantly fluctuating. And if you happen to be around people who are irritated often or angry often or just kind of blah, then you'll find yourself mirroring that a lot. And we've got to choose those emotions and stick with them where we want to be. Love stuff. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. All right. Who is ready for some coaching? And I know sometimes it can feel a little intimidating putting yourself out there, and you can either do it through a private message to me, or you can just come on, Mike. But let's do some coaching. I'm happy to do some coaching, and you can ask some questions, and we'll go through some coaching sessions here and try to help you level up. So if you're ready, let's do this thing. Who's got something they want to work on? Who has a new height they want to reach? Yeah, about anything. Go. You guys, right? We're here. This is the Extraordinary Family Life Formula. And of course, family life incorporates all of it. It's holistic. So if you have health and fitness, eating, you got, emotional things, psychological things, financial things. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm feeling fired up today. I got at least one more good thing in me. Just kidding. I could go all night like this. I love you guys. Let's go. Turn it on. Don't be shy. This is your chance.
Okay.
Yeah, girl, go for it.
Looks like Rachel Denning joined too. Can you hear me?
Rachel's here. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Help me level up.
Okay. What do you want to go after? What's your target?
My target is just family life. Like, I love how you talk about the culture of your family, and I'm just feeling like I would love to up level my family, but I know that starts with me in a lot of ways. So there's just so many facets. Like, I don't know like where to narrow what to start with.
Yep. And that
it's the culture though. The culture, like.
Okay, perfect. We'll dial in on that. Who can relate to there's so many facets, where do I start? Oh man, I think that's all of us. We're like, are you kidding me? And you've heard us, Mary, you've heard us talk about the tabs open, right? All the tabs are open, right? And we feel like we have so many things going on. What's really interesting, Rachel and I have actually been talking about this a lot lately, and we've been studying it. Whenever we feel like we're going to be multitasking, or I have all these things to work on and we're trying to work on all of them a little bit at a time, how efficient are we? How effective are we in making progress when we're trying to work on a lot of things at once?
Yeah, no, so scattered. Yeah.
We're scattered. That's the right word. We're so scattered. And so all of our efforts and energy that we're outputting is like making teeny little dents. So it doesn't feel progressive. So in our coaching session here, let's level up family culture. What's one area in your family culture you feel like, oh, if that happened, that would really move the needle for our family? And I know there's several, but what's one that for your family specifically, like, yeah, if that were happening, man, things would be significantly better?
I mean, I guess I'm always like trying to figure out ways to not be on screens.
Okay.
So whenever screens are on, I'm kind of like, but then I'm tired because it's like at night, and I kind of like that. So it's the energy. The energy is just super. The vibe and the energy is. It tends to just like die down after dinner, and that's hard because it's kind of like when everyone's home, and so that's pivotal. Like that's a great time to be connecting.
Yes,
because we're all there, but yet the vibe's just like blah.
Yeah. So you're right. When everybody's home together, that's prime time. That is prime family time. But parents are like, like I've been going all day, and for most of us, we're lucky to hand out some leftovers from us emotionally, mentally, physically. We're like, here, take this little limp noodle of what I have left, right? And the kids are stressed, and there's all this stuff from the day. And so do you all feel like that prime time is often lost? Like it's a prime opportunity that's being lost for real connection? Okay. So, and man, thanks for sharing that. Great insights there. So evenings after dinner, how can we make them special? And let's brainstorm here together, because none of us is as smart as all of us. How can we make evenings special and part of the family culture without the default of turning to screens? Because let's be honest, the screen in the evening is the easy way out. Yeah, go, just watch something. or you're like, I'm just going to watch something. You know what? I'm done. I'm just going to sit here and binge watch a little Netflix because that's all I got. Right? Even though we're like, I want to do something better. Let's throw some ideas in. How can we make it meaningful in the evenings. And let's all make a list, because this is something we all need to work on. Across the board, I see this a lot. Evenings need to be special, but it's when we're tired.
Okay, so I've got one.
Go.
We instituted about 2 months ago, and I don't know if I got the idea from this group or what, but we instituted Family Fun Night. And so kind of the rules for us are each person in the family, so there's 7 of us, we rotate who gets to choose what we do. We have a slight budget in case we need any kind of craft supplies or something, but everybody gets to choose, and one certain night a week we do something that person chooses. So last night was my husband's chance to choose what we did for Family Fun Night, and we did a bike ride. So we went on a 10-mile bike ride last night. It was a beautiful night, perfect time for it. Other times I've done craft projects, or we've baked and decorated cookies together, but something that all of us have to do. And sometimes we have to get creative on our budget, because $20 doesn't go very far with 7 people, but it's been fun, and everybody looks forward to it each week. Of course, that's just one night a week, but still it helps, I think.
Fantastic. So, and again, there's a solid idea, 1 or 2 nights a week, and everyone gets a turn, you rotate through it. And what I hear you saying there, and it just sparked this for me, it's one of those things where you might not feel like doing it, but it's the expectation, so everyone kind of goes for it. And then afterwards you feel fantastic. Like a bike ride. You might be like, oh, you guys ever had this? You're like, guys, let's go for a bike ride. And everyone's like, ugh, do we have to? I'm so tired. But then you get out there, you ride for a little bit, and you all come back like, that was awesome. I am so glad we did that. So really solid suggestion there. Okay, what else can we do? Let's throw it out. Like what other things can we do to make the evening count, make it more special?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I can talk? Because I have a comment. I want to say something.
Who is this? I hear that. I know that voice.
It's my voice in the darkness, because I have 2 little girls that are still not asleep.
The resistance.
I know, and I have teenagers that are doing other things. So I just wanted to say one comment of, I know for me, getting over the idea of it has to be 100% every night or every day is like a good thing. The book that I read, it's called...
I'm going to have to censor this if you're suggesting we don't need to be 100% here.
You know what? You just need to let me talk, okay? Stop. I read a book called I Know How She Does It by Laura Vanderkam. And she says that you need to think of your life as a mosaic, and you actually should think of your life in week chunks. Yeah, I'm talking. In week chunks instead of days. So if we think that in one day we have to do all of these different things, right, in order for our family to be like awesome, we have to switch that up, and we have to look at it at the week. And so, like, talking about both Marys were just saying there, if we can at least start with making one night a week more awesome, that's a start. That's a leveling up, right? That's the 1% or maybe even more improvement. So we start there by like, okay, how can we make one night a week more awesome? And then we can go to how can we make 2 nights a week more awesome? We start by just making these improvements and looking at it as like a week, because otherwise we tend to beat ourselves up and we're like, we never do anything cool to bond. We're always on screens every single night. And that's probably not 100% true. So if we focus on how can I make one night a week better, or just, improve it in this one area, then we can use that as a stepping stone for more growth. That was it.
Love it. Thanks, babe. A lot of beautiful wisdom there. So starting one night a week to start building those patterns is really beautiful. I love the suggestion from Stephanie. Everything seems to go better when we shut off electronics. So we just kind of have a rule of like, hey, all screens go off. And here's what is the most beautiful thing about humans when we kind of strategically take away some things, we all, even kids are really good at this. We come up with something else. And so you might end up playing some board games or cards. My all-time favorite evening activity is me sitting reading to the kids. Oh my goodness. I love, love, love. We did that for years. Yeah, internet shuts off at night, right? So we use Xfinity, and Rachel has an app on her phone. She can click a button and all Wi-Fi is gone. That's the easy fix right there. And then they turn to books and they turn to playing games. Oh, here's another one. I'm just going to throw out some ideas. And again, like Rachel's saying, try to incorporate a few of them here and there, and just start shifting the culture. Just like Mary was talking about. We start shifting the culture to more positive, engaging things. I don't know if you guys have been following us on Instagram. We had like 20 teenagers in our house for a couple weeks. It has been awesome. And of course, there has been concerts almost nightly. They're on the guitars, or on the pianos, or on the violin. And luckily, they brought some skills. So we had the piano and the guitars and the violin and ukulele all going. And like and singing, it was unreal. In fact, right now before I came in, when I started this meeting, I don't know if you guys heard, they were out singing and harmonizing. I was like, I love this stuff. Like, we got a built-in concert system going on. So try some music. Do music in the evenings where you sit around playing some songs. And maybe that's something you start working towards. Have each member of the family learn a little piece or a little part, and you do a little concert. We used to do little concerts. We'd have our own Denning family recitals. And it started the culture of playing music. So if you do some reading, you do your family fun night, you do some music, boy, that's 3 nights a week. And the reading can be a couple nights a week. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And it starts to shift that evening thing. Mindy, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, is there some nights where you think that, where you guys ever, like, it's project night, like everyone do their own individual night, or is it always like, hey, night should be like family bonding every night?
That's a really great question. And I think each family will be different, but I know we're totally open to some of the nights being projects where kids are doing things. It's especially fun when they start doing projects together, but maybe that's one of your evenings. Maybe it's strategically, you guys it's a project evening, and everyone can go, that way it has a little bit of separation, and they can have some individual quiet time, and they can work on some projects and then maybe share what they're working on. It's a great idea. And where you can have them they're pursuing something they're really passionate about. I love that. Man, that would be fun. It'd be fun. It'd be really fun even to have them kind of share with the others in the family what they're working on and why, what lights them up. That's really cool.
Yeah, because one thing that we started doing, because you suggested to Matt to like do the like celebrations, and so we have like some cork boards that we're like trying to put like a weekly goal on for our little milestones to get to our big goals. And we're like totally not great at it yet, but at least like the goals are up there, and we're like, okay, 1 night a week, twice a week, like you should be working on this goal. And so we'll get there. It's not super successful yet, but I think that's why I brought that up. I think. Yes.
Oh man. Yeah. What a great start there. You have a little portfolio, a little family, like, celebration board. I was going to say scoreboard. It's not a scoreboard. I'm not keeping score, but it's like a celebration board where this is what we're working on. This is what we're achieving. This is what we're going after, and sharing that progress. That's fantastic. Travis shares that his kids like doing a karaoke nights, right? That would be awesome. Oh man, that'd be fun. Karaoke night or a game night. And again, that feels like a lot of energy, and we're like, oh, we're all tired. But if they're looking forward to it and expecting it, it's easier kind of to generate some energy and like, let's turn this on and make it special. So what we're all seeing here, and from these awesome ideas, is with just a little bit of strategy and a little bit of intentionality, we can raise the level of quality. Right? We can raise the level of greatness and make it a little more meaningful, a little more connected, a little more fun, a little higher quality than just kind of disengaging. So be really present, be all in. Can I share a quick strategy about energy generation? You guys have all heard me say, right, that we're generators. Generators don't have energy, they generate it. And so if you know there's a certain time that you want to have energy, but you consistently are kind of low energy during that time, get in your head of like, okay, we're coming to a transition and I'm going to turn it on. Right? And you get to go to that spot of like, hey, it's go time and I got to generate some energy here. And maybe you get a healthy snack, or literally you might crank on some music. So here's a big one. Do you all have some music that lights up your family? Please tell me you do. And if you don't, like, get some. Get some music that you turn on a song and your family's like, yes, we love this song. And everybody's dancing around and having fun. Like, maybe that's one of your things. And it doesn't have to be every night, but maybe a night or two a week, you're like, hey, it's family time, you guys. And you turn on the song, everybody dances and plays and like, yeah, let's get in on this. And like, okay, let's do something fun. And so we'll do that with our family too. We'll generate some energy. And so at those transition points, you can pause and say, what do I want to bring to this? And you set the intention. And then you just go. You jump in, baby. In the flesh, right here. Ta-da!
Yeah. Like half asleep practically. Oh man. I did that today actually, is what I said, because I went over, my mom is in town and my aunt lives nearby and I have another aunt in town. Yeah, you don't like my theme, do you?
It's like, what is the old lady clip?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm wearing it.
Rocket girl.
Yeah, I didn't get ready. Okay, I was trying to do bedtime here. So they're all in town, and I went over there to hang out with them, and I was like, I was tired. I don't know why I was so tired. I did get up at 2:45 a.m. yesterday, and then we taught the Money Mastermind last night.
And went all day,
so I went all day from 2:45 a.m. till like 10 p.m. So I was tired. So today I was driving over there and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. So I did this thing that we do where I just got in my mind and I was thinking about, okay, what is the type of experience I want to have with my, in this case, my family, but my, mom and aunts. And I just said it in my mind, okay, I want to bring love. I want to bring happiness and fun. I don't want to be just like dead and yawning and tired the whole time, so I thought about what I wanted. Then this was kind of fun. I took my little girls and they wanted to listen to Frozen 2 soundtrack, right? So we were listening to Frozen 2 soundtrack on the way. And Into the Unknown.
Especially Olaf's song. It's the best about Samantha.
No, I don't like that one. Into the Unknown came on, and I just started singing along. And I sung as loud as I could, like at the top of my lungs. And that produces, that generates energy. When you get into singing a song, it just makes you feel good, right? You just feel better. So doing that helped me to get ready and set the tone for, having a good experience with my family.
There's another one. Write it down. Sing your favorite song at the top of your lungs.
Exactly.
I'm not kidding either. Write that down and do it. In fact, record it and send it over to us for accountability. Yeah. Yes. And we'll compile it, make a special album for our group.
Yeah. Nice. But the other thing I want to say too is kind of going back to this, does it have to be every night? No, it doesn't have to be every night. It's nice to just have grown-up time or even just me time sometimes of I'm just going to work on my little thing. And that's nice too when we all get in our own little groove and we're doing our little thing. In those cases, I like to know that my kids are doing things that are approved.
Meaningful. Meaning
that they're not just on a device doing, whatever. So
that's when I set up like the head gates type things, or if having the internet shut off or whatever else that I feel, is appropriate, because I want us to be doing things and doing activities, but I don't want them just, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I've got my little rules about things. So I if I know that the head gates is set up so that that's not happening, then I feel good about whatever they're doing, because I know it's something that I'm okay with them doing, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's all.
Love
I
it.
guess I'll take out my list.
I like the little old lady clip.
It is kind of falling out. It's not
cute.
as cute as when I did my hair.
Okay, is that helpful? Some ideas there? Okay.
And I'm
two-
just gonna add another thing.
Okay.
Like the leveling up as a family, it's always an ongoing process. It just always is. Like it's a continual journey. So there's always something else. Like you've never arrived. Like we've not arrived. Like there's always something else. There's always another level. So it's kind of like you just have to get into the flow of always looking for the next small little thing, the next little level, right? Now, sometimes you take the big leaps, but taking the big leaps every single day gets exhausting. You have to have the systems in place that make the small daily actions doable. So you just have to kind of have that mindset if there's always going to be another thing. So I just need to look and see what's that next thing, right? And sometimes it will be a big thing, a big deal. Like maybe you get rid of the TV. Maybe you, go without internet for a week.
I
Maybe
highly recommend to get rid of the TV one. Awesome. Game changer.
As we actually own a TV now, first time ever. I just admitted it.
Okay. We were gonna Airbnb.
Now he's gonna give our reason.
I gotta give the reason because you guys know how much I hate TV. We were gonna Airbnb our house, and so you can't rent it out to people without a TV. So we did it. It was great. And then our HOA was
listen,
can't
the
do
real
it.
reason we bought it, it was partly for the Airbnb, but we did a 3 or 4 day Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within event. It was his first virtual one ever. So we actually bought a TV that we could hang up, and the whole family did it together.
And we had a visiting family.
Yeah,
we
had
awesome.
They thought we were a little bit crazy, but that's okay. They thought we joined a cult. That's okay. It was awesome. We did it all, and the kids got in. Not the younger kids. They didn't do it. They watched movies for 4 days straight while we did Tony Robbins. But it was great. And our older kids really loved it. So that's really why we got it.
That was awesome. Okay, two thoughts I want to share. Number one. Oh, Mary, can I continue coaching you since we're doing coaching? I would do it with all of you, but since she volunteered, she
Sure thing.
sit on the throne of awesomeness. What are you specifically doing for self-care? What do you do ritually to take care of you?
I exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I go to a life coach.
Nice.
Yeah. I spend lots of time outside in nature, and yeah, I feel like I'm kind of in a phase where I have time.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, way to go.
But
Congrats.
still, I'm tired at night.
Yep, sure.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's a flow of it. And so if you see that flow and it's consistent, start looking for things that might give you another little bursts of energy before bedtime. So kind of and you might even find yourself resting a little bit before dinner time or even right after dinner to kind of get recovery. And then one last push into the evening.
Love that.
So,
yeah.
Love that you're doing all that self-care stuff. That's amazing. I wanted to emphasize that across the board. I find that a lot of people aren't doing enough self-care. They're just give, go. And they're just like, I'm empty.
And sometimes the self-care does look like something like that. Just a little break before you know you have more energy required. Like even right before this class, Greg and I were just sitting on the couch, just sitting there.
And I've been coaching all day, so
He's
I
been
literally
coaching all
sat there,
day.
closed my eyes, and not talking. I'm just gonna chill. I gotta recover.
Yeah, so it's just those little breaks of like, I'm just resetting. I'm just, and sometimes it's sitting and sometimes it's dancing or whatever, but you have to be strategic about those, because if we're not, that's when it's really draining. It's more draining when you're not strategic and aware and preventative.
Love it. Okay, last thing. I'm going to give you guys a little energy hack. You ready? No more soda. No more drinking soda. Yeah. Thumbs down on soda, man. No more soda. And in fact, most of you are probably no soda champs already. So I'll even go to the next level. Remove, what about Red Bull? Those,
yeah, definitely Red Bull's fine.
Those, yeah.
Get rid of soda.
4 to 5 of those a day are really good for you. Those so-called energy drinks, they do give you a spike, but then they cause a crash. And they mess with your sleeping patterns. And if you study this around the brain, actually, it really messes with your physiology a lot. So caffeine, if you drink coffee or caffeine, make sure it's in the morning. Don't have any caffeine after lunch. It starts messing with all kinds of rhythms and sleep and all kinds of stuff.
Well, so you would say coffee too. Anything with caffeine.
Yeah, anything with caffeine, ideally, you'll find this in The Brain Warrior's Way, you'll find it in Superhuman, and you'll find it in The Powerful Engagement. They all say cut out caffeines and sugars and simple carbohydrates and soda completely. So sugar's the next level, guys. You start using monk fruit. Yeah, that's right. Start using monk fruit and erythritol. Right? Because those will not spike your blood sugar.
Which means you don't crash.
So when you have lots of sugar, you have a spike and you're like, oh, I love sugar. And your kids are doing it. It's fantastic. But then you have a blood sugar crash afterwards. And that's when you feel this lull and you're like, ugh. It's really tough.
Which is what I was going to say. If you are feeling regularly totally drained, it may not just be like mental or emotional, it could just be the biochemistry is off because of whatever you are eating before that's causing a crash. And
so it's kind of chronic is what she's saying. One more thing on that. I have another coaching client in Australia, and I was coaching her yesterday. She was finding, she's like, man, I'm just drained all the time, and I'm eating well, I'm exercising, I'm sleeping well, drained. And she's like, this just doesn't feel normal. So she went and got some blood work done, and her iron levels are crazy low. And so now she's doing iron supplements. Mm-hmm. So, and she has a little bit of anemia. So if it's chronic and you're eating well and you're exercising and sleeping well and it's still there, maybe consider getting some blood work done, where you kind of check that out and get it going. So good insights there. Just make sure your body's optimized so you can bring it, because we all have the power to turn it on whenever we want, whenever we need to. And we can access energy physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually. Those are the 4 energy sources. It's definitely
easier when you have more things going in your favor than not. And just because we're talking about this, it is seriously a lot more easier to level up in our family and in everything else when we have more energy. Like, we are the dynamos of the family, right? As parents. If our energy levels are higher, then our kids' energy levels are going to be higher, which means our experiences together are going to be better, which means we're going to do more of the things we want to do. Like, whenever I feel like things are off a lot of times, like maybe it's even the chores or the relationships or anything in the family, the homeschooling, usually when I look at it, it's like, oh, it's because I'm feeling kind of low energy. Like I'm missing some energy there that I need to generate so that I feel like following through with this thing, or doing more training on this thing, or, having this conversation about this. If I don't have the energy to do it, then it's not going to get done. We're the motor, we're the engine of the family. So we have to take good care of ourselves. We have to have high energy so the family runs smoothly. It's just how it works.
Boom! What Rachel just said in a really nice way. is that you are the queen of your kingdom or the king of your kingdom, as is the case. And the best way to make changes is to lead out. Model the way.
And to have the energy to do it.
Turn it on. Turn it on and be a generator and generate some energy and watch how you can move the tide in your family. Man, love this stuff. It's so good. So Mary's doing the No Soda September. Yeah, congrats. So I'm going to continue. It hasn't been too bad. Fantastic. So you can go from the No Soda September to the No Soda Siempre. And siempre is a Spanish word that means always. So you can go from No Soda September to never again in your life. And it's awesome. It's good stuff. Love it. Okay, thanks, Mary. That was awesome. Hopefully that was helpful. And you guys, you're right. Culture eats everything else for breakfast. And so make that shift. That's one thing you can focus on instead of all this stuff. Say, I'm going to make sure evenings are special and we're all present on not every evening, but some of the evenings, right? You start making those shifts. Watch what happens. The family, the fighting goes down. The connection goes up. The love, the peace, the calm. They'll start sleeping better and getting up more. They'll be more cooperative. Just shifting that evening dynamic changes the whole family.
Yeah,
It's
because
awesome.
when you pick one thing to focus on and one thing to improve, then it naturally just carries over into everything else. So it's a good approach. You don't feel like you have to tackle everything. Just pick that one thing that you want to improve, and it will.
Bring the tide.
Whatever.
It'll
Oh,
bring,
yeah, bring
the
the
tide.
tide. I am kind of tired.
Okay.
Mineral deficient, don't do synthetics.
Yeah, get good quality
Dr. Christopher's
minerals
Vital
and,
Herbs. I haven't heard of that.
vitamins, supplements. You know what I would do if you guys all want to kind of level up a little bit? Like pure green powder, get lots of greens. We get our body back to an alkaline state. So consume a lot of greens. Get the greens in there. They're so good for our bodies and our bellies and our palates. All right, who's up next? Let's go. This is fun. I love this stuff.
I would love to hear more about what you're doing for investing and whatnot. My business is working to start generating more money to put into more rental properties. We have to, but I want to generate some more a little bit faster.
Love it.
Generate
Fantastic.
more money
More
to
money.
invest faster.
Yeah.
Or more investments.
I need to have money do some more generating on its own work. So, I only can put in so much time into my business. So that's bringing in some money that can go into the rentals, and the money that we're getting in rent is going back into to be able to buy another rental.
Good.
And one of them, we have to decide, we are probably going to refinance it, pull out money and buy another rental with that one. But I would love to see 2 more rentals in the next year. So that would be 4 rentals instead of 2.
Good.
Awesome.
Is that on your vision board yet?
Maybe not as clear as it should be.
Oh, how does maybe work on the vision board?
The why is there, but the next rental property is not on the vision board. I started doing Kirk Duncan's stick it up, put it up, and pull it down when it's accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And so that one is not on that board, but it is in my why board.
Good. Okay. So I would say, and the reason I ask is get that specific intention right in front of you. And I would invite you to rewrite it. If you guys have a goals journal, this is the journal that we're selling now. It has 5 specific booklets inside of it. So you can have life, business, family, parenting, home education, all in one, all your goals right in one journal that you can take with you everywhere. And you can set it as a goal one. So I'll show you my goal ones up front here. Rachel and I are leading a surfing trip to Portugal in June. That's page 1. Yeah. But I would say make that an intention. And that's maybe even one. Have you guys heard me talk about rewriting your goals? That you can actually rewrite your goals every morning. Super, super powerful practice. Just pick, not all of them, just pick a few major goals that you want to work on and literally handwrite them, rewrite them every single morning. It takes 30 seconds or less, but it is a powerful practice. So if you want 2 more within a year, I would rewrite that and write it in present tense and with an emotion. I am so excited and grateful that we have 2 more rental units by, October 2021 or something like that. So the absolute,
Well, just to emphasize a little bit more, because anything that we want, anything that we want to accomplish, we don't have to know how we're going to do that yet, right? We just have to be very clear. We have to have clarity on what we want. And then that's when our mind and our subconscious goes to work to helping us make that happen. So,
and it starts searching for solutions and starts looking and noticing things. It'll notice opportunities that wouldn't before. So that'll actually open doors and opportunities of how to pull it off.
So like one part of your question I feel is like, well, how do I do, you're like, what investment can I do or this or that? How can I do that? And honestly, it doesn't matter what we say or anyone else said. Like we could say, oh yeah, you can do this and you'll have the money and you buy it. Because everybody's journey is different and your opportunities are going to be different than ours would be. So the more important, like we can share some ideas, but the more important thing is that you have clarity that that's what you want and it's on your vision board and you're either rewriting it or rereading it every day, because that's when your mind goes to work on how to figure it out, because you're the one that's going to be coming across the opportunities. You're the one that's going to be looking for the properties. You're the one that's going to, you're doing the work, not us. So you have to have that clarity and know exactly what you're after so your mind can do the work, if that makes sense.
Yep. And because each person's situation is very unique, especially in your investment opportunities or business opportunities, super unique to where you are maybe and how you can approach it. So I will say, as a general rule, investments bring in slower revenue, because if it gets too high, it starts raising red flags. If you have an investment that they're like, oh yeah, you'll triple your money this year in this investment, I'd be like, whoa,
Well,
like red flags.
It
Like
certainly
woo.
adds more risk.
There's a lot of higher risk. So with the chance to have much higher returns is also a chance to lose your money. So investments in general are a slower growth. What I hear you saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm hearing you saying is you'd like to have a more revenue sooner to actually take it and be able to put it into investment.
Yeah, because I think of it as 2 different things. There's revenue, there's income producing activities, and then there's investing activities. And the investing activities, they're kind of like set it and forget it almost. Like I'm going to put it there. I'm like planting my orchard and I'm not going to touch it. Now, yeah, it would be great if I could get that orchard to grow faster so I can plant more apple trees. But usually what we do is we go over here and we get the seeds from over here. I'm using the apples. And then we plant them. So you want to kind of see that as income producing, which then I can use to invest, as opposed to, because this has the potential to generate more money than this does, at least in a shorter amount of time. So you say you have your business, like in my mind, the first thing I would think of is like, I need to find ways to scale my business. I need to find ways to like
10x.
Because with
10x
a business, you have the potential to double, triple, quadruple, 10x your income. Like the best investment you could make is in a business.
Well, okay, this is what I was going to go to. This is where I was going.
Okay.
So, number one investment, all of you write this down. The number one best investment you can ever make is in yourself.
And
The number 2 investment is in your own business. Invest in your business.
your own business and or revenue
producing. Yeah.
income producing capabilities.
Yep.
So whether that's you own your own business or you work for someone, in your ability to create income is the next best
Yeah.
investment.
What do we call that? Your
Right, Tracy?
your greatest asset is your
Ability to earn.
your
something like that.
ability to earn. It's your income producing ability is your greatest asset.
But that's the point.
finances.
The greatest asset you have is not necessarily your rental properties and all this other stuff. It's your ability to earn more money, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So yes,
Right?
I'm not looking
So-
for. I just hate money sitting there at.
At 0.5% waiting for the next property, working on the scaling, we'll work on more skills. Love it.
Yeah.
And here's an idea. Actually, Marissa, can I coach a little bit here? Can you mind telling me some of the metrics on one of your investment properties? Like, is it a house? Is it an apartment? Are you renting it long term? What are you doing with it?
Both of them are single family homes. They both, one has about $300 a month cash flow, and I think the other one's about $400 a month.
They're just the long-term rentals you're renting out to families. That
Long term, yeah, they're long term rentals. So they've got year leases,
okay.
and one of them is new construction. So hallelujah, don't have a ton of repairs on that one.
Nice. Okay.
And let's see, yeah, and so the one we've had for 5 years has increased significantly.
Great. Way to go. Congratulations on that. That's absolutely fantastic. Have you considered maybe doing some kind of short-term rental, vacation rental, like an Airbnb type thing on one of them?
Hold on, honey. No, I don't have the skills for that. And right now my houses are in Florida and I live in Seattle. So Orlando to Florida, I don't want the nightmare of that. And my property manager is amazing. So, and he's not going to do the short-term rentals.
Okay. So what if you thought about,
Hypothetically speaking.
hypothetically speaking, let's see, we shift that, especially because they're in Florida. That's a game changer.
Yeah, they're about 20 minutes from Orlando in Point Siena, in Kissimmee, Point Siena.
Guacamole.
I'm about to get on Airbnb right now and do some research.
Yep, exactly. Okay.
Because if
So-
you're talking about, I'm just going to add real quick, if you're talking about how can I get more money from the investments I have, like you could literally probably make,
I think you could 10x your rent, your profit.
yeah, like,
And it's not near the headache that you think it is. It seems like a headache. It seems like crazy. It seems like a huge burden because of what you don't know. And what we don't know, it always scares us. You guys, this is true for everybody. I'm speaking to everybody. What we don't know scares the Tara was like, that would be terrible. It'd be hard. It'd be this. It'd be the other. I have a great manager. Things are good. I don't want to mess up what's already good. And I get that. But if you get the right management in place for short-term rentals and you get it set up the right way, you can charge a premium, and it's actually less occupancy, less wear and tear, and way more profit. We have a lot of friends who have Airbnb around the world, and they make phenomenal income and profit on their properties.
and I just want to bring up a principle from this, whether or not, you ended up doing this or not, that's fine. But I just kind of want to point this out because we all do this in our lives. We want something, like I want to make more money in this case with my investments, but when there's a potential opportunity, we shut it off because we're like, oh no, that would be this. So if we want something, we have to be willing to be open and consider seriously every potential opportunity. We can't really say no to something until we have done all the research on it and then said, okay, because I've done all the research and this, and this, that's why I'm going to make this decision. Does that make sense? And that's just a principle that like we live by. We don't say no to anything until we have gone through everything, like dug through it thoroughly and then said, okay, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this.
If there's something we really want, we'll explore all kinds of options, like thoroughly explore options, because we don't want to miss out, which we have. We've done this. we miss out on massive opportunities because of our own ignorance. We didn't know what to do. And so then we started meeting people around the world, and we have friends that do this full time, and they make so much money, and it's awesome, right? And it's hands off because they know how to do it. They gain the skills and the knowledge and make the contacts to figure it out, and then they have the reward. It's fantastic.
Well, and besides the fact that I can just guarantee you 100% that no matter what it is you do want to do or end up doing, like, there's skills you're going to have to learn, right? Like, it just is always that way. There's always this barrier to the things we want, our goals and dreams, that is called skills training or whatever. I don't know. That wasn't a good name, but you get the point.
That's the next barrier. So, and Marissa, your example is perfect here. You're like, okay, so she's saying here in the chat, I'll need to connect with people who know more. I only know single family for long term, which, way to go. I mean, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Celebrate that. There are other people in this group who are like, I'm terrified of single family long term. I don't want to have renters. I've heard the horror stories. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be going over unclogging clogged toilets. And say stop. So you already moved to that level. Now one invitation to consider is going to the next level. We have friends who they got.
And just to add, the Airbnb thing may or may not be the next level, but again, it's going to be a similar circumstance. It's going to be something that you're uncertain about, and you have to learn the skills and take that leap of faith on no matter what. Like, that's how you get to the next level. That's the only way to the next level, right?
Beautiful. And so you said, yeah, my mentor that helped me get those 2 properties is only in single family. So that mentor got you to this level. You may need another mentor to get you to the next level. Or you may need to just do your research or make some contacts, find a property management company that specializes in short-term rentals.
In fact, there's one, well, I mean, this may or may not be helpful. There's one in Atlanta, I know, and basically what they do is they're the, like, all-in-one. You hire them and they treat your place like a hotel, and they go in there and they clean it up every time, and they put the little touches and details and everything and make it nice and handle the whole thing for you. Like, that's the kind of thing you would want to look for. And you would still be making more money. Yeah. Right?
We have friends who, and again, if you decorate at night, here's the next level. I'm sharing this with everybody, you guys, so you know what levels there are. Yeah, is this helpful? Because we want to expand your minds and keep expanding your minds about what's possible. Because the main reason many of us stay stuck where we are is simply the lack of exposure. We've never been exposed to that next level of ideas, and so we stay where we're thinking, well, this is where we have to stay. So we have some friends, they literally have Airbnb rentals around the world. And they don't manage any of them themselves. They're all managed. But they found 2 of them.
Well, yeah, we have some friends, they live in Oregon, and they have Airbnb rentals in Bali, right?
And
so
Canada.
That's far.
They got a couple in Canada, got a couple in Bali.
Yeah.
They have other ones in Oregon. So it's all over the place. But there's one in particular I really love because they took 2 of them, 2 small ones, and they went and kind of did comps, and they're like, well, we could charge this low competitive rate, or we could hire an interior decorator to come over and give us ideas of how to make it really nice and capitalize on the space, which they did. And they were able to triple their prices. And so now
because it was luxury instead of just
regular. So they clear, you guys, they clear $15,000 a month. After paying the rental, the management, everything. It's just theirs. It goes in their bank account. They don't have to do anything. So there's potential, there's massive potential there. And they're just thinking differently about it. I know I met another gentleman one night who he lives in Boston, and he went and he rented out apartments and then got an agreement with the owner that he could now sublease them on Airbnb, and he would take better care of them. And he ended up renting 40 apartments and listing them on Airbnb. No, 20. And he nets, like in his pocket, he nets $2,000 a month per apartment. So simple math there. He's earning $40,000 a month profit from real estate he doesn't own. How's that for awesome? Yeah, right? And he has a management company taking care of it. So we just got to explore new ideas and say, okay, what would What would I have to learn? What would I have to do? How can I invest? Here's that investment again. How could I invest in me, in my knowledge and skills, right? Getting the skill set so I could do that, because what an ideal. If you could literally 10x your income on a property you already have, and the only thing in between you and that is some skills, invest in you. Invest in you. And some of that money you might actually put into furniture and decorations now, and bam.
Yeah, so I just 2 quick tips for if you're doing Airbnb. One, nicer is better. So like really pay attention to the decor and the details and the, you know, the furniture and the layout, like that stuff matters. The nicer it looks, the better.
But that doesn't also necessarily mean really expensive
Doesn't
furniture. You
necessarily
can
mean
actually get
expensive.
some good stuff from like a Goodwill, for example.
But what I'm saying is, you know, you need to have kind of somebody with an eye for design that can make it look good. Then the other thing is, the more beds, the better. You make money per head. So you want to have as many beds as possible. How
Yeah,
have
so
they
beds
fared
count.
during the pandemic? Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of travel. If it was highly on travel, then it was stuck to people traveling inside their country. So if it was foreign travel, a lot of them hurt. So there were a lot of people that were hurt and struggled during those times. So that's one of the risks of the pandemic. Stop travel. Who would have saw that one coming, right?
So yeah, inevitably with any investment there are risks.
And poor
So-
loans and too expensive properties. Yeah. So you got to have good numbers and know your metrics. You got to know your metrics. And actually, we have a whole
Airbnb
spreadsheet
spreadsheet,
for Airbnb
Mhm.
for short-term rentals, and we're happy to share it with anyone who's interested. And you just go through, you punch in the numbers, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it's a no.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
cool
but
stuff.
ultimately, I'm going to say like Airbnb is not going away. Like it's here to stay. People may have suffered, but it's still something that's going to be around. And as long as you have a property that's nice that people want to stay at, they're always traveling for something,
Yep.
whether it's family or work or business or, you know, whatever.
I just booked an Airbnb for our men's trip just a couple days ago, and man, I got on a few days ago, and there were several, and now there's only a couple left. So it's filling up. People are out traveling again. It's picking back up. So it's a good time. So my only other question, Marissa, for you would be, and I want you to explore this idea, what skills, what resources do you need to 10x your income
My business.
in your business, or in revenue generation? Maybe it's a different business or a different take on your business or a different thing. Are there people in your business that are at a similar level but earning 10 times as much as you? What are they doing differently? What do you need to learn? What skills do you need to develop? Like what needs to happen? Do you just need to take massive action? They don't have 10 times as many hours to work as you do. So somehow in the same amount of hours, they're doing 10 times the results. This is true for everybody across the board. So I'm coaching here, you guys. I hope you're all appreciating this. And you're all listening. There are things we can do. If you need revenue, if you need money, just sit there just every single night. What can I do to 10x my income? What can I do to 10x my income? Put your subconscious mind to work every night. Give it the right questions. While you're laying there in bed, what can I do to 10x my income? How can I get way more revenue? How can I leverage the money I already have? And maybe you bring in other investors and you sign some agreements, and you can get a piece of property next week because they bring in some money, you bring in some money, and you manage the property. Boom. You might have those you might be able to get your 2 more properties by the end of the year with creative solutions and ideas. Right? So it's just sitting there going, okay, how can I shift this up? How can I take bold, massive action that's still safe and solid and go for it? Yeah, good. And it's right. Well, that's true for all of us. The fears we have are holding all of us back. I have my last 3 months sales in the past 2 days.
Woohoo!
Nice. So I'm on the path to next stakes.
Yeah.
So much for the additional. Yes. Oh, keep that up, right? There's little shifts we can make, all of us. It's like we have this little barrier, and as soon as we remove the barrier, all of us can be off to the races. It's the runway thing I was talking about in the beginning. Clear your runway. Maybe it's fears or doubts or worries or these obstacles. As soon as that's clear, there's nothing stopping you from just, like Rachel loves to talk about, you can go linear progress or you can do exponential. And we're looking for any strategy, skills, ideas that will give us exponential growth and just go gangbusters awesome. Guys, this is good. Who's loving this stuff? Woo! Anybody falling asleep? Come on, let's move your bodies. Let's go. Get excited. Are you all in here? I hope you're excited about the potential here with family and business. Like, this stuff is good. Oh, love it. Okay, do we have time for one more? Anybody else game? Is this helpful? Or are you sitting there going, oh, gosh, I don't want to change my family culture or make more money?
What stupid ideas.
This isn't helpful at all. We're just trying to explode your ideas and expose you to new opportunities and possibilities.
I might say something.
Adelante.
Well, I was just, right before I came down here, I was trying to find the link for this group so I could get in. And I was in the group, the Facebook group, and there was a comment on there from Laura, but she's not in here, but she said, and we've kind of talked about this before, but I think maybe it's good to talk about it again. She's like, I feel like I'm getting so much good information from you guys, but like, how do I implement it? Right? Like, how do I put it all into information? It's just like information overload. And so I kind of want to talk about that.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's part of what I want to say. Now, for one thing, I do want to say this. I want to emphasize it. I don't think information overload is a bad thing, because this is why. Repetition is the mother of mastery. And the more you hear us say things, the more it's going to get stuck here. And then it's going to be easy to do the things, because you go from, like, I was just reading this the other night in my book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. You go from thinking, you just go this way, to doing, to being. So you learn information, you gain knowledge, then you act on it, and then you like just become that person. Now the easiest
and when I say the fastest track from here to there is overload. Just lots, deep immersion. Instead of calling it overload, it's immersion.
Yeah, it is immersion.
Immersion. And so that's why we just give and give
fact,
and go,
you
because
can,
it's changing you.
You can even in some cases skip this step and move from knowing to being with immersion, with like repetition, because it's changing your neural pathways. It's changing the way you think. It's changing the way you operate. So then you start to become, and I know this is true because this has happened to us. We read so much information. We take so many courses and all this stuff that it starts to become who we are and how we think. So then instead of it feeling like it's hard and you're trying to make these changes and it's like a struggle, you've become that person. And so now it's easier because you're not trying to implement it. That's just who you are. Does that make sense? Is that with me here?
Let me share a quote from a great thinker. He said, I no more remember the books that I've read than the meals that I've eaten, but every one of them has made me who I am. Right? So all this information is becoming a part of you. And so we're just filling and filling and filling. And all of a sudden it'll unconsciously start to click. Mm-hmm. And you'll just know what to do. You'll come up to an opportunity like, oh, I'm going to take advantage of that. Oh, I'm going to jump on that. Or you'll have a situation.
Will come up and you'll be like, oh, I know
let's
exactly
just do this. Yeah. And it's powerful. So we're giving and giving and giving. And at first, for some of you, are like, what do I do?
And I need to like take action and do something, which we're not saying don't take action. But I guess we're saying this because we have felt that way before in the past, and because we've pushed through that, and because we never stop with the information. We are like nonstop information consumers. And so what I would say is don't stop. There's no reason to stop consuming information in the name of implementing, in my mind. Because the more information you consume, the more it just permeates your being.
Yep. Oh, I like that. It
Yeah,
permeates your being. And then as you are implementing and taking action, you're now operating as the new and better you.
And not that you don't do, again, I'm not saying don't do implementation, do it, but keep consuming more information, because a lot of times that reinforces the implementing you are doing and
Or
gives
you'll-
you new insights about it,
Yep,
or
there you
new paradigms about
You
it.
get a new little nugget of truth or wisdom that fits perfectly with what you're implementing, what you're building at the time.
So that's just what I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, I love it. Amen on a Thursday night or a Friday morning in Australia. Ah, yeah. Okay.
That
So-
one last thing, one other thought. That being said, it is helpful to have certain tools and things to help you, like the tracker, right? And just lists of things, and like having it like a journal in front of you, right? So that every morning, like we have these journals, and they're not just because they're pretty. It's because every morning we're looking at them, we're reading them, we're reading our goals, we're reading our mission statements, we're reading our affirmations, like we're reviewing this stuff on a regular basis. So if there's something, you about implementing, well, that's it. And the vision boards, like you're constantly reminding yourself of who you're trying to become and what you're trying to accomplish. That's the greatest, I think, implementation tool, is regular reminder. Because if you don't have it somewhere to remind yourself, if it's not hanging up, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, then that's when you have a harder time doing whatever it is you want to do, which is often why even something with like charts, I print them out originally, because it's a reminder for me and for the kids that, yeah, we're doing a system here. We're starting this thing. And we have our vision boards, and we have, like, you print them out and you make them hard copy and you hang them up so you can see them and be reminded what you're doing. Because if it's not in front of you, you
neglect.
you just forget.
Yeah. Love it. This is good stuff. Okay, looking for the small changes and successes helps me keep going. Yeah, so true. And celebrate those. Every time you celebrate a small change or success, you're creating neural pathways of like, I love this. This is great. I'm going to keep going. I'm building momentum here because this is fun. I like this, right? And you're really training yourself and your kids to like progress. I got pretty overwhelmed in the summer. I was considering now putting tracking habits on the habit tracker. Yep. I said some things become automatic. Love it. That's beautiful. Beautiful. We need those reminders to reset. Yeah. You guys are so awesome. We love you all so much. Even those of you who are watching the recording, we love you too. Like, this is just a great group, and you guys, yeah. You guys are just a great group of awesome humans. And we count it as a great blessing and privilege to have you in our lives, and that we can be a little bit in your lives. And we love, like, this is what we live for, you guys, to help you reach your dreams and to help you dream big, and then go chase it down and start making things happen.
And then meet us somewhere in the world on a
That's
trip.
exactly what I was thinking.
Because that's when it gets really fun.
Then we start having some epic experiences and doing cool things together.
That is fun.
We sat down. I'm going to tell a really quick story and then invite you to do something. There was a boy, this was in the 30s, 1930s. There was a 15-year-old boy in California, and he sat down at his parents' kitchen table, and he wrote down 127 big goals of things he wanted to accomplish, from exploring the major rivers of the world to climbing the biggest mountains to learning languages, flying an airplane, reading all the great works of literature and being familiar with the great composers of the world, to having a family and just doing cool stuff, like making a difference. 127 major goals. And then here's what's made him so different. He made that his life mission to hit those things. And then I listened to an interview. He died in 2013, I think. I listened to an interview shortly before he passed, and he said that he, in his lifetime, accomplished 611 major goals. I mean, this man lived. nobody could look at his life and go, yeah, it was a pretty boring life there. He didn't do much. I mean, this man lived. And he's been inspiring me for years, but I wanted to rekindle this in myself and in our kids, especially after COVID shut down the earth. And so this morning we all sat down and said, hey, we're going to make life lists again. We're just going to sit here and dream. And we're going to write down, I want you to write down in your new journals. You got these journals out, right? And we wanted to write down your life list. Let yourself dream a little and do it with your kids. Start dreaming. What are some really cool things that you want to see or do or experience or become or own? And have fun with this. Don't worry about all the shoulds that people throw out there and all your fears and insecurities or doubts or I don't know how to do that. How could I ever do that? Don't do that. Just start making this list of really cool things that you would that would just light you up, that when you look back and be like, I can't believe I got to do that. That was amazing. Rachel went through all the wonders of the world this morning, and we just kept adding them to our list. We're like, I've never even heard of that underground river in the Philippines.
The catacombs in like Alexandria or something. I added that one on. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Nice. And Table Mountain in
South Africa.
Cape Town. And oh man, we just added so many cool things that we want to go see. I'll tell you about one that just hopefully lights your interest. In Ethiopia, years and years ago, they went up to this mountain. The entire mountain is made out of rock. And they carved down into the rock a giant cathedral, all in stone, that's in the shape of a cross. It is a huge cathedral carved into the stone from the top down. I think it's called the Cathedral of St. George in Ethiopia. That's on my list. And I look at pictures like, are you kidding me? Yes, we're going in person to that place. Like, so cool. So I want you to dream a little bit. Have some big dreams. Make it fun and exciting. And you can start with things that are in your backyard. And you can start learning like nunchuck skills or boomerang or the violin or whatever it is you want. Like, start doing fun things. Will you guys make your life fun and exciting and adventurous, and it'll get you through some of the grind of the hard work. But dream a little bit. Actually, no, don't dream a little bit. Dream a lot. Dream a lot and dream big. And let's then get after our dreams. That's why we're here. That's why Rachel and I are here. We love you. We want to help you dream and then go get those dreams. And we're leading out. We'll never ask you to do anything that we're not doing at a 10x level. We're going after it.
Kind of fun because I also found a journal, an old journal from like 2005 that had
and the best entry was that Rachel wanted to have 12 children by the time she was 37.
I was gonna say, like there were some
what?
on there that I was like, oh, I'm glad I did not accomplish that.
Oh man.
But there were a bunch of goals on there that there was a bunch on there that we'd accomplished already, and I didn't even remember writing them down or whatever. And I was like, this is cool. Like, I've done this.
Yeah, it's really cool. So let's get.
So I made a new one today, though. A new one with even cooler stuff.
Yeah. You guys are the best. Love you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being awesome. Keep coming in the Facebook group. Let's support each other in there and ask questions. Let's just keep hitting it and keep leveling up. Every week can find us a little bit better, a little bit closer, and a lot more dancing. You know what I mean? Celebrating all those wins, people. Celebrating all those wins. Nathan, come on, man. Smile at that. That was funny, bro. Do a little dance. There you go. Yeah. Do a little dancing, man. Yeah. Okay. Love you guys. Let's get after it. Let us know how we can help. Keep going. You guys are awesome. We honor you. We love you. We celebrate who you are and what you're doing. You're doing an awesome job. You're doing an awesome job.
Mm-hmm. Or you'd be watching Netflix right now.
That's right.
Instead of us.
You should be celebrating that you were here.
That's right.
That everyone needs to dance once you get off of this thing. oh, I love this.
Do a high five. That's what we do. We're done.
Yeah. And then I give her a big old smooch.
Yeah,
So
we
you
don't
guys
need
can go find your spouse and
front
do
of
some smooching too. Okay. Love you guys. Have an absolutely great night. If you're on this side of the earth, and if you're on the other side, have a fantastic Friday. And keep being awesome. Okay. Love you guys. Reach upward.